Oh, I was seeing 47 viewers. Hello, hi. Hello. This is a Far Lands or Bust stream. Not an episode, a stream. You see the circle of Kurt J. Mac here, as well as the subscriber account and that. The girlfriend said that I should have chat. Like the last episode, the last stream we did, where we were having good discussions about hobbies and whatnot. She would have appreciated chat. I do remember I thought of that, but then I never made it happen. Just because I thought it would be asking for trouble. So here we are. I've made no decision and no effort into either of those solutions. Trouble is fame. Get in the game. What is that from? But yeah, the Far Lands or Busts. We're just about to surpass the 38 gigabyte threshold. We're at 37,947 point something 3 megabytes. You got your woofs ready? Accidentally cut some cords and you'll be a celebrity. Yeah. Is he though? Is that website that nobody's ever heard of that he linked actually one that makes him a celebrity? Josh is a big deal. I don't know. I know even less now what you're talking about. Get your things ready. Your woofs. They called him Josh. Oh. Partner. Let's go. Woof. All right, we can begin. Yeah. Oh, that's right. We were on this tiny little island. Little island getaway. I swear I had a boat ready, but I guess not. Let's grab Wolfie, get in a boat, continue west. Whoa. You're not doing your intro? This isn't an episode! You get no intro! Come on, Mox! How many of these have you been to? You get nothing! No intro for you. Banned. 1 year. Indeed. Indeed. It's cold, rainy. You get no intro. But we are streaming. When did we start? About 30 minutes past the hour. Or 30 minutes into the stream, rather. Did you pick up Wolfie? I did. I did. I woke him up. He will teleport to us. Do I have to, like, explain things to y'all? Thank you for those bits. So, what game is this? Where's your hunger bar? I like that Cobot picked up on that. Have you died yet? I do need wood. Oh yeah, so now here's a question. This new version of Minecraft that's out, is this the one with all the terrain updates? Or was that just a ruse? Like the terrain and caves and whatever else was promised? And how disappointing is it? Ah, optimism. I am excited. I'm sure you'll hate it. Oh, have you not? I figured everybody would have been playing it already. Is that why Dadcraft came back? I'm assuming. Ah, Cone's been avoiding. Maybe I should update the old Patreon Farlands or Bust server. And by I mean anybody else. Because I literally don't have any control over that, other than paying the bill for the server, which is probably more than I should do. Only Xavier. Where? I don't even think they're around anymore. I think they're busy. I think we've lost our administrator, which is not saying anything about Xavier, but one of the reasons why I constantly choose to do everything myself. Because I can't possibly expect anybody else to dedicate their time to my little projects. Yeah, I can make your world map. Oh shit, that was, somebody did like have a good idea. A proposal, if you will, for the Flob map. And I'm like, I replied and talked to them a few times in email and was like, that's very interesting. But then the sands of time have long covered that project. From memory. Yeah, that's a bummer. So that's a bummer. Where was I going? What was I saying with this? Well, I was gonna talk about something completely different, but this is also like on a different tangent that I could talk about. But Kurt working on computer battery. Yeah, no, yeah, that's that's what's filling my brain, is the battery that I have that I will never install until I lose power and then realize. Well, actually, I think it's less of a problem because I have this battery backup, so anytime I do lose power, it's not like resetting everything. So it becomes a non-issue until I need to work on the computer and unplug it. I mean, speaking of computers, the girlfriend is what's the word I was gonna say susceptible, but that's the wrong word. Y'all had the suggestion of why don't I just like update one of my old 2 computers that are literally collecting dust because her 2008 Mac is struggling with her schoolwork. Oops, well, I didn't mean to completely kill him, but when initially I was like, a laptop? I mean, she's kind of she wants a Mac, but she doesn't want to spend like $1,000 and $2,000. She wants to spend just like $200 maybe. So yeah, I'm thinking. I'm like, okay, I'm thinking of that. The problem is this past year or two, we sold my 2 extra computer monitors, so now we needed we would need a monitor back. But the real problem, like, here's the deal. Well, that's what I mean. That we realize how expensive Macs or even PCs are, but her money is going towards like actually paying for school and everything else. But where was I going with this? Oh, so yeah, I've got computers. The one that's really old, I think, still has Windows XP on it, so we're not going to use that one. But the Windows 7, the generation previous to this computer in Far Lands of Bust history. I'd have to check if she can get a discount, a student discount on Windows 10. But then I just think it needs... I've never... She doesn't need a graphics card, but I know the GTX 570 is fried. But, like, the motherboards have, like, built-in, like, video outs, I think. I should check. Because sometimes they don't. I'm guessing you're not going with Windows 11. I know nothing about Windows 11, so I'm not even gonna chance it. Specifically, she hates Windows, which is why she's been on Mac and owns an iPhone and stuff like that. The last time she used Windows was like the late 90s, early 2000s, when like pop-ups and viruses and stuff. Oh, Wolfie, you pushed me off the ledge and then you took your own damage, you dingus. I'm gonna do more. Ah, what a dingleberry. So like, yeah, that's what she thinks is what Windows computers are all about. And yeah, she'll definitely have to like relearn how to use a computer compared to the Mac OS X, but so like like that's kind of part of it. But then again, she just needs it to use the internet and like Office programs. So as long as I can get like those icons on her desktop. And, you know, everything auto updates. You know, I'm sure she remembers like, this needs an update, this needs a restart, this needs an update, you know, like old Windows software was. Now it just does it right when you're working, right in the middle of where you're working, and restarts on you. How convenient. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I was thinking like, yeah, I could probably just use the video outs that are on the motherboard, or I could just find like the low end, the lowest of the low end graphics card that Bitcoin miners don't even want anything to deal with. So like they're actually available. Yeah, Wolfie. So yeah, I mean, I feel like it's still gonna be, depending on what we could get Windows 10 for, it's still gonna be another like $100 or so, plus or minus whatever it costs to get another monitor. Just to get it up and running again. If it runs. So yeah, I think that should be fine. But it is a, she has a built-in, just like, I mean, I have a built-in aversion towards Mac, where I'm like, why is this way? Why is this doing this? Like, we wanted to get a video off her phone to my computer so I could help her with that project where she did the makeup with the tree stuff. How hard is that? Impossible. We thought, oh, well, we just have a USB. We'll just transfer it over USB from her iPhone to my PC. Oh, sweet summer child. That's not possible. You can't just transfer files over a USB. Yeah, you need to install iTunes and then register your iTunes. And then the iTunes would want to back up the phone to the PC in order. And it wasn't a small video. It was like a, oh, I don't know. It was at least a couple gigs. Um, so, I mean, that is what we ended up having to do, was use our shared Google Drive. And she just had to like sit there and let the thing upload for an hour to Google Drive. It wasn't a picture, it was a video. I mean, this was previously, I had to, when we first started going out and like sharing photos, you know how iPhones don't save their photos as, you know, like a file type that actual other people can use? Like, I had to change her phone settings so that they saved as JPEGs instead of whatever Apple specific. But that's the default, right? Who else with an iPhone knows to change that setting? Do I look like I know what a JPEG is? Yeah, that's it. The Heafs. The Heifer Sutherlands. Whoa! This is gonna happen again, isn't it? This is a bad idea. So anyway, yeah, that's another project that is going to take forever to start. But this brings me to something perhaps that I learned yesterday. I learned that there's a spawner right here, potentially. Although, might not be. Nope, there's nothing. He sounds like a Mac apologist. Get him! So anyway. I mean, her mouse died. She had one of those Apple mice. Was it a wireless? It might not have been a wireless. But you know, the ones to charge the mouse, you can't use the mouse. That like broke for her recently, so I gave her one of my many old gaming mouses, and like even the scroll wheel. The scroll wheel was reversed on a Mac. Did you know that? Where up means down and down means up, and like right click. She still doesn't know about right click. We gotta teach her about right click, everybody. Key Sky, thanks for the gift sub to LabTech.
Sky gifted a tier 1 sub to LabTech 901. They have given 394 gift subs in the channel.
Much appreciated. Yeah, the scroll is more like the way it works on a touch screen.
Sky gifted
So
a
like
tier
if you
1
pull
sub
down,
to
that means you
Isalin.
want the thing to go down.
They have given 395 gift subs in the channel.
Keys guy, we're getting blasted.
Sky gifted a tier 1 sub to Shasto. They have given 396 gift subs in the channel.
Much appreciated. Welcome LabTech, Isalin, and Shasto. Not a bath bomb. Those were single, individually wrapped gift subs. What was I saying? Oh yeah, yesterday. So that's at least two things I have not touched since college. Wait a minute. What are you talking about? Ooh. That's probably not a good place to go. What sort of experimentation was Cone getting up to in college? Gosh darn it. Gosh diggity darn it. All right, I'm gonna deploy the water bucket here. All right, that is not an ideal. There we go. All right, careful, Wolfie. Okay, you're just gonna push me in. That's fine. All right, I guess we're doing this. What a dingus. Hope he spawns. Yes, okay. Yeah, that was a thing, wasn't it? Sorry, I'm getting really distracted. It would really help if, like, there was an archive of chat on the screen for people watching later on YouTube. Am I right? People earlier, when I like first started my channel, were like, "Oh, so you don't use a PC?" Just because of my stupid name that I chose. But anyway, I was saying to Mabel, it's the doing, and it's the doing of putting a chat on the screen, and it's the potential unfortunate of putting chat on screen. Although we haven't had much of any problem since making it follower only mode. And, you know, making sure we lost half of the normal subscribers we had and making our VOD sub only. You know, all of these antisocial activities I'm doing on my Twitch site. Still, I don't know. It worries me sometimes. If we were to delete messages, would they delete an element? No, that's the thing. When something gets modded out, it's already been displayed on the screen. There we go. So I was saying, yesterday, I did a bunch, and in reality, a small amount of manual labor or volunteer work. The girlfriend, speaking of the girlfriend, I don't even remember the topic anymore. I don't think I ever introduced it. I kept getting distracted by the likes of you. The girlfriend I mentioned has been volunteering with the Trails Association here in Washington. They basically upkeep the hiking trails and things like that around. And a lot of them are like, here's an hour-and-a-half hike to the place where we have to do work to build a bridge or cut a new path or whatever. This one, thankfully, she chose was just a local, like, city park that was having a new hiking path put in. Walking path, really. So I joined her on this yesterday. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I liked it at all. I mean, I don't like manual labor, I guess. Like, I understand the volunteer part. I understand that aspect. And she's also, like, made connections and, like, is getting to know people. The vast majority, it seems, of the volunteers are of retirement age. I mean, they're the ones who have time and availability to go out on these work parties, they're called, and dig trails. So like us. So yeah, I'm certainly physically capable, but I'm not necessarily physically wanting to. um, and on top of that, I would the girlfriend is much more outgoing and communicable and you know, likes to make friends. Willing is the word. So, like, meeting new people isn't really a benefit. I mean, it's all good. We made a trail, and I'm in some unusual soreness and pains today. Yeah, carrying wheelbarrows full of gravel back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Pretty difficult. more
I
difficult.
think that you are the most fascinating character within this setup.
Not me.
Than you need it to be.
Oh, absolutely.
Real Jelly Man, thanks for the sub. 27 months in the tub. Chop, chop, dig, dig. Yeah. There was some chopping, mostly digging, and then grading, and then like this with a tool that's flat to stamp it, to flatten it out. You don't even like doing that stuff in video games, right? I'm sorry, what? This. You know this move. You're familiar with it. We just learned Cone hasn't done this since college. Jokes. Making butter. You can call it that. So yeah, I mean, like, that wrecks your back muscles. And like, all the people are like, oh, it gets, you know, the first one's always the hardest. It gets easier the more work parties and things you volunteer for. And like after 10, if you volunteer for 10, then you get your own hard hat to wear with your name on it. And then after like 25, you get a jacket. And like some of the people there, that this is my like 900th one. And they're like in their 70s or whatever. So before that, you just get the communal helmets, and then they have a piece of duct tape that they write your name on. Nate's got his helmet. See, we have people here. You might have even worked with the girlfriend on something. She's done quite a few of them. I mean, she's got her own helmet. So yeah, I did that yesterday. It's thankfully not all day. Like, getting up early, and the fact that it was really cold yesterday kind of sucked. At least it wasn't raining. When you get the secret decoder ring. But yeah, you start at like 8:30 and then get done at like, we got done at like 2, but normally they go to like 2:30 or 3. And this was just, like I said, a small, like, urban trail. Like, they're trying to build out, like, urban trails in the area. Bring the wilderness to you. Yeah, it was mostly cutting of a new trail, getting rid of stuff in the way and getting fresh dirt underneath, and then covering that trail with gravel. It was a lot of removing grass and topsoil and then flattening. That sounds awful. I mean, yeah, I don't want to like poo-poo it too much because it's kind of like the neo-socialist in me wants to be like, why don't we pay people to do this? Like, everybody's like, there's no jobs, unemployment, blah, 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 blah. But there's plenty of stuff to be done that needs to be done. It's just that the people who have money don't want to pay to have it done. So the park services and the trail service has to rely on volunteers, which is also good because then you get people who actually enjoy the work and they're not forced to do it 5 days a week and then kill themselves after 2 months of completely destroying their bodies. But anyway, so yeah, did that yesterday. Was an experience. The girlfriend is glad that I went to do it. Volunteered with her. It wouldn't let you because of asthma. I mean, the only thing they checked for on this one for me was that we're vaccinated, is the only requirement that they needed for this. I mean, I guess it depends on what you were wanting to volunteer for. Oh, yeah, the fire stuff. Yeah, no, yeah, that's a bit above and beyond, I think. I don't... What about wearing a mask? No? I mean, we're all working outside, and we keep our distance. It was like 15 people. It wasn't a huge group of people. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the vaccination was a requirement. Yeah, I mean, like, in other parties, like, the girlfriend has... They've felled trees and, like, used the logs to make a bridge. And, you always, if you do hiking a lot, there's always like trees that have fallen down and then they have to like cut the tree around for the trail to continue through, like that sort of stuff. Is more than just building a trail, but true. The girlfriend is more of a lumberjack than my dynasty will ever know. Very true indeed. So yeah, I did that all yesterday, and I couldn't... I just... Like, I know you're not... I mean, maybe you are supposed to enjoy it, but I don't... Like, that's not the part of it. Like, even... The whole setup is very nice. Like, even their rules... Like, the top 3 things that we want all our volunteers to do is, number 1, be safe. Number 2, have fun. And then number 3 is actually get some work done. So, like, their priorities are right. So yeah, I know, my opinion is just on the work and the fact that I don't care much for manual labor, or hard manual labor. And yeah, it's not like a job. You can just like, they're just like, go slow, take it easy. I mean, there's some people who are just mostly standing around talking all day. Not me, because I don't talk. So, that's what we did yesterday. A learning experience. And then I started to, like, think about, as one does with chronic anxiety, how does this reflect on my experience throughout the rest of my life? And yeah, I'm like, well, maybe, I think the manual labor part of it is partly part of why I don't like working on cars. Like, working on cars. Like, the hard stuff. Like, anything that requires lifting a car, or taking off a tire, or, stuff like that. I'm like, I'm taking off bumpers and dropping gas tanks. Even after I'm done with the project, I'm like, well, that provided me with no enjoyment whatsoever. It was completely not worth it. I'm into the fiddly stuff. Like, if you need something that has finesse, like the interior bits and bobs, even like, okay, replacing the shift bushings, link bushing things, and the trim panels, installing the I mean, it was a little annoying installing a stereo, but you know, that I'm cool with, which is why I'm also cool with like maintenance items like that. But yeah, no. So I'm like, so then I'm having like existential crises, like, well, then how am I going to do these things on the Datsun that I need to get done? I just pay somebody? How the heck do you find, like, I can't just take it to Meineke. It's a 40-year-old car. Not changing your CMOS value. This is what brought it up. Is like, oh, like work. That's why I like working on computers and building computers. You know, when there were once parts available for purchase, is because it is like just small and plugged together and fiddly. Route the cables, that sort of stuff. I mean, the only, like, I don't think I'm ever going to explore this route, but the only, like, link to cars, or car, you know, working on cars, like, I'm like, well, maybe in that case, I would find, like, actual engine rebuilding interesting. If not terrifying, but interesting. As long as I'm not the one who has to, like, hoist the engine out of the car or install it back in. Like, maybe that would be interesting. But that's not something that, like... just go out and start tearing apart engines, okay? So yeah, I just started to, like, apply that to everything else in my life. I never did enjoy, like, yard work. It was always kind of a thing I was forced to do as chores or as punishment growing up. It was like mowing the lawn or raking or this, that, or the other. So yeah, that was my takeaway for the day. Hard work and manual labor. Yeah, no, so yeah, that's where I'm like, like, I'm not gonna give up on the Datsun. I'm just like, well, maybe I can take it somewhere to have somebody else do the suspension. Could I do it? Yes. Would I hate every second of it and possibly die? Also, yes. There are things I would rather someone else do. Right, and that's what I'm, like, figuring out. What are the things... Like obviously, we were talking about hobbies in the previous stream. Like, working on old cars, restoring old cars, modifying cars. Like, that's the hobby for people. And even, like, driving and enjoying the car is not as important. But that's the part that I like, is, like, owning the car and driving the car. Redoing suspension is your jam. Oh. Like, it also doesn't help that I have no power tools and a very narrow garage in which to work. But even then, it's daunting. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying not to make, like, my experience volunteering for trail work sound negative. Just more like, maybe that's not for me. Maybe that's not what I'm about. There's a DIY garage near me. You can rent a lift and tools. know that there's any around me. Cone did that once. Worst experience of his life. Oh, you broke your car there and had to get it towed back. Not a good time. Yeah, that's what I would be afraid of. I'd be like, because everything takes me like 4 times as long as it takes a normal human. I'd be like, well, I got one of the suspensions off. I'll be back in a week. Hope it's not expensive to leave my car here. It is. Indeed. So that's what I've been up to. What have you been up to? Getting mad at modern video gaming. I'm glad you brought that up, Cone Dodger, because that was my other topic I wanted to talk about. Isn't that how the car talk guys got started? Owning one of those come fix your own garages? The insurance on those places must be ridiculous. So yeah, I don't know. I have nothing further to proclaim about that other than this is what I've learned about myself and manual labor. This coming from the guy who, as part of the discussion about hobbies, was like, I could work out and exercise. Which is maybe why I don't like working out and exercising. Just because it's manual labor for no purpose. Like, other than health and strength and whatever. Those, who cares about that? Get that out of here. Cone Dodger says they patched Forza Horizon 5 to do with everything convoy related. We tested last night and made it worse. Like, yeah, I saw that they were like, we're working on a multiplayer upgrade. And I'm like, I don't think the multiplayer was a problem. I mean, well, yeah, no, the multiplayer itself wasn't a problem. It was vastly improved over the previous Horizon game, like netcode and connectivity-wise. It's the interface that's horrible. The fact that in the game there's start a convoy, invite to convoy, but none of that works. In the Xbox app, there's friends lists and join a game and invite to game. None of that works. It's that you have to go to this third superfluous Microsoft Xbox game bar, which I had completely disabled on my computer because of all the sounds it was making. And that's how you can maybe sometimes get an invite from your friends who want to play. And now that I've enabled it, I'm getting all sorts of bleeps and blops and bloons when I'm playing completely unrelated games. And then again, the interface, once you're in the game, in a convoy, you have only 10 seconds to join a race once the leader has started it. And you don't see that countdown or get that option if you're in the pause menu. Or any sort of cutscene. And then if you somehow accidentally miss that message, you're completely ejected from your convoy and have to do the whole rigmarole of finding how to join and which menu leads you there and which doesn't. I feel like the whole convoy system, they invented it thinking that people enjoy...
What the hell is this? Some kind of tube?
Pessimistic Demon, welcome to the subtub. Brand new sub in the tub. Like they just expect like people to just join random lobbies with strangers, and like that's how they're going to play the game multiplayer. Which obviously they don't understand anything. So yeah, anyway, all this talk, I was thinking, and again having a discussion with the girlfriend about like this and everything, and talking about like the hobbies and what do I enjoy and do I even enjoy anything. And I'm like I feel like it's becoming a bit of a, what's the word, meme, not meme, but just a thing here on the old Kurt J. Mac situation, that I'm constantly negative about like games and really anything. And I don't think that business, from a purely business standpoint on twitch.com, is not good for like attracting new viewers and subscribers and supporters and stuff like that. So I'm old man screams at anything. I mean, I have from time to time. I won't name names. Gardax. I don't know for sure, but we can guess. Like I have at time like seen comments and chats being like, "Oh, what a surprise! Kurt has a criticism," you know, stuff like that.
Key_Sky gifted a tier 1 sub to Divine Wind 420. They have given 397 gift subs in the channel.
Thank you once again, Key Sky, for bringing Divine Wind into the sub-tub. Sub-tub? I mean, yeah, at times I can enjoy and like find comedy in the bad games, in the badness, like the Dynasty games or whatever. But I'm worried about it. But the girlfriend came with a different perspective of like, well, what's the alternative? Is being constantly like, this is amazing. Oh, Forza Horizon 5 is the greatest racing game I've ever played. Look at all these pop-ups I'm getting. Oh, I get to unlock another location in the middle of my game. Oh, more people talking to me. You know, like, and she referred to that as the toxic positivity. Which, I mean, if look at the biggest channels, the biggest, you know, influencers. Yeah, unboxing videos, trailer reaction videos, Nintendo Direct watch parties. I mean, that's what the platform's like. That's what the advertisers like. And I'm like, well, if I like want to be able to keep doing this, is that what I need to do?
Key_Sky gifted a tier 1 sub to Gardax. They have given 398 gift subs in the channel.
Topical. Thank you, Key Sky. Oh, that's not Gardax? That's alternate universe Gardax. Speaking of the worst episodes of Star Trek ever, Star Trek Enterprise, the Dark Universe episodes. But that was some pretty bad watching. Close enough. I've never watched any Enterprise. Speaking of never watching things, I was informed by either my Discord or this very chat that all of the Star Treks were going away from Amazon Prime and Netflix. So we like hurried through all the Voyagers and then like started watching Enterprise thinking that we would not be able to finish it. But here we are in December of our spaghetti monster of the year 2021. And they are still available. I probably am the one who told you, Cone Dodger. I'm like, you better finish Deep Space Nine, because it's going away. Like, I did hear the recent news about, like, Picard and Discovery going Paramount Plus only. But that only mattered to international viewers. We never had that stuff on Netflix or Amazon. So yeah, now we're like, well, what do we watch? We watched the first episode of the original Battlestar Galactica. Oof. Oof. That didn't age well at all. You just stopped watching. Oh, Deep Space Nine gets good though, eventually. Right before it ends. I'm like, that's no good. We can't watch that. So then the girlfriend fell asleep. She did a lot more work than I did. She's a lot more motivated and a harder worker than I am in the volunteer situation. So she fell asleep, but I ended up watching the first movie episode of the reboot, the remake Battlestar Galactica. I just remember that being very slow. Better, but very slow. Welcome all these new chatters. Hello. If only I had the chat on screen. um, yeah, I heard somebody in here said something about dark, what dark crystal, dark red dwarf. That one. Where is that streaming? Because apparently the girlfriend has heard of it too, and she said it was, people have said it's funny. So I feel like maybe we need something else. We need a Star Trek replacement. Or we need to start paying for Paramount Plus. Right, the Lower Decks is also just Paramount Plus. So I'm... So Dweller Benthos says, Red Dwarf was excellent the first couple of seasons. One Man Standing says, Series 1 and 2 are more sitcom-y, but Series 3 onwards is where it gets great. Wait a minute. I feel like we have dissenting opinions here. Indeed. So anyway, yeah, I was just thinking about the difference between toxic positivity versus toxic negativity. And if that is even what I'm up to. Is that my bag? Is that what I'm doing? Like, similarly, I tried to really get into that Ace Combat clone, Project Wingman, and I was kind of into it for a bit, but then there was only so much into it I had left in me until it was just the same thing over and over and over and over again. It's a lot of talking and British humor. Red Dwarf. We're talking about Red Dwarf. Not Ace Combat. I think you're just being honest. Right, but I'm just... can't sleep at night. Or can only sleep at night, rather. From my perspective, I'm thinking of it as a business choice, perspective, angle. About, like, this guy doesn't even like video games. He even had that up in his Twitter bio for a couple months. Why would I want to subscribe to him? I don't know. Maybe I just think too much. My tea got not hot anymore. Is it pessimistic? Is it Scroobius Pip to think growth is overrated? Well, it is, but it's also like the opposite is I have to get a real job. And probably won't. I've tried to get a real job earlier this year, or a few months ago. Cone knows about it. They didn't want me. Even that job wasn't really a real job. Let's be honest. Have to start volunteer with the trails more. And get paid no monies. They do have a candy break. A mid-morning candy break. Where the leader comes around and hands out fun-sized Snickers. Video games? You ever heard of Minecraft? That was on my resume. I don't know what a CV is, but that was I did put that on my resume under accolades and activities. A whole charity bit. Video games are in a weird spot right now. I do feel like I've been very critical of video games for the entirety of my existence. So I don't know. Those were the topics and updates at hand. Oop, that's lava. I will not go that way. No, I'm just pretty sure I did bad at the interview. I'm bad at interviews. I'm a bad interviewer. And then it's like a Zoom with 3 other people. Makes it worse. Games are changing and our tastes aren't because we're old and grumpy. I don't know that that's it. Games are a lot better now than they were when I was growing up. I hold really no significant nostalgia for 90s and early aughts video games. I mean, I stopped playing games for 5+ years, just because I was distracted by adulthood until Minecraft came out. Games were less buggy back then. Did you try playing Tomb Raider Angel of Darkness? I think games were less complicated, so therefore there were less opportunity for bugs. And there was no opportunity for them to update, so they had tighter release, usually tighter release testing, you know. Now with, you know, Steam updates and stuff like that, they can, well, we'll fix that after release, you know. That'll be a day one update patch. Dang, I keep so many boats, I guess. Whoa. So honestly, most of my... I love bugs in video games, you know that. But most of my critiques in games comes down to, like, design choices, interface choices, gameplay annoyances, and frustrative, you know, difficulty imbalances. Which comes to I enjoy Sable. It's just, as a business decision, which I hate saying, nobody else does. Yeah. Wow, how did you miss that drone mode is over in the creative zone? Sammy, the Farlands are the edge of the map, theoretically. Well, realistically. But in this version of the game, thank you, Kaylee, there is a Wikipedia, or Minecraftpedia, article about it. The conceit of the journey being in a world that randomly generates in all directions in a seemingly infinite map. Could you walk to the end of said map? And in this version, yes. But it's gonna take a long time. This is a good channel intro. Clip it. That's something. When did Twitch introduce channel trailers? Does Notch ever drop by? No, and that's good. Probably not since I blocked him on Twitter. Boy, I hope not. Last I heard, he wants and has nothing to do with anything in the aura of Minecraft related, so. Ugh. Didn't they say sorry, Kurt, in the notes? No. I'm pretty sure they didn't. I'm pretty sure the only, like, in-game reference to Kurt J. Mac was in Kerbal Space Program. And look at what that's gotten me. Oh, crumbs. Alright, I need to find a hidey hole spot here. What's side of this? No, well, just right here, I guess is fine. Wolfie. Ha ha! Got him. All right. Got another successful Farlands or Bust stream. Oh, I need wool and bones. Have shoutouts ever worked for anyone? I like, back when I was trying to decide if this should be like a skin Minecraft texture pack series or something, and I was like giving shoutouts to like channels and creators I found, and creators, entertainment crackers. And like looking back, I'm like, shouldn't have done that. Some of those didn't age well. How's Dr. Brian Lorgon 111? Ask him yourself. I mean, he was here at the beginning of the stream, but indeed. Well, thank you for watching this hour of Farlands. Let's go to sleep, and we'll see you in the next one. Although, obviously, there's no outro here. I'm just you've been here before. All right, did we pass 38 gigabytes? Oh God, what? It's listening to us. It's listening to us. Well, what? It's like Instagram when you mention something, then you get an ad for it. But we did it. We did it. 38,019.3 something megabytes. He is watching. Oh boy.